Steph, be ready with the personnel right away.
I get it, I get it. Norris Street.
Okay.
So then that'll enable her to participate.
Good evening, and welcome to the Lawrence meeting, to the Lawrence regular meeting. Today is October 15, 2024. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2022, this meeting will be hybrid, allowing participation both in person at the City Council chambers and remotely. The Zoom link was provided to anybody that requested through the city clerk's office. This meeting is also being transmitted through the Lawrence City Council Facebook page, as well as the Lawrence City Council YouTube page. Roll call, please.
Councilor Levy.
Present.
Councilor LaPlante.
Present.
Councilor Luzon.
Present.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Present.
Councilor Santiago.
Present.
Councilor Marmol.
Present.
Councilor Reyes.
Present.
Council Vice President Infante.
Present.
Council President Rodriguez.
Present. Please join me for a moment of silence. Now join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There is no minute to be approved today, and we're going to jump into public participation. We have a list of people that would like to speak. Everybody's going to have 2.5 minutes, and this is the rule for public participation. The time limit is 2.5 minutes. At the 2-minute ring, you're going to hear a beep that indicates that you still have 30 seconds. Please refer to the whole council as a whole, not to any individual councilor. We were not going to be able to respond to any questions or comments that you might have at this moment. We're going to read the following names with the names that would like to speak. The first person that we have on our list is Lenin Roa. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lenin Moroa. I live at 36 Columbus Avenue. As you guys know, I am part of the school committee representing District C. And today I'm here to urge you guys to please adopt and take very seriously into consideration the ad hoc committee report that's going to be sent over to you guys. We are in this position today. We're being forced, basically, to be in this position. The school committee, and during the years, has not been supported by the city or the state. Is my take on all of this since I've been here since 2013. It's what I've seen. And due to that fact, we are in a position where barely anybody wants to run for school committee positions in the city, making it hard for some people to really even relate to what the school committee job is and what we really are supposed to do and what we do. I urge you guys to please take into consideration the ad hoc committee that was formed by you guys, their position and their intake in all of this. It will behoove of us to go forward and start thinking about something other than where we are. Transitioning, all of that conversation is good, but we're not having that because we're having this conversation. So let's move forward, and please take into consideration what I just said today. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have on the list is Jeffrey Petrillo. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, councilors. My name is Jeffrey Petrillo. I reside at 341D South Broadway in Lawrence, Massachusetts. The reason why I'm here tonight is following a 0-5 win at the September 11th Planning Board meeting regarding the property right next door for zoning violations such as spot zoning violations and running an illegal junkyard without a license. We're asking Mr. LaPlante and the other councilors of the Ordinance Committee.
Refer to the council as a whole, not to any individual councilors.
Oh, I was doing that. Anyway, we're asking the city councilors of the Ordinance Committee to be known that tonight we're asking them that we want to move forward and to set a date as soon as possible for the ordinance committee meeting that's coming up next. And I spoke with my attorney this afternoon, and he's all for going forward. He couldn't be here tonight, so I'm speaking for the both of us, as well as my family. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have on the list is H. Mali. Name and address for the record, please.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. Lawrence Police Officers, thank you for excellent job. Lawrence Police, with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Chief Bonilla, doing excellent job to protect our citizens. Lawrence Police, this union of pride and honor, sacrificing their life to protect and serve. We support Lawrence Police Officers Union, Seniors Officers Union. Million thanks to our best DPW employees and leadership for making Lawrence a beautiful city. We support our awesome inspection department employees and the union. We must hire more inspectors. Lawrence Public School, with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Ralph Guerrero, moving forward. Lawrence teachers, you are number one. Thank you for excellent job. We support Lawrence Teachers Union. Our Methuen teachers, we support you in your strive to obtain the best contract. Please bring hope and homeless people, help the homeless people bring food and donation. We demand the best contract for our firefighters. Lawrence always strong. Lawrence always unite. Lawrence one city under God. Pray for the safety of all police officers. Lawrence Police, thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for making Lawrence a safe city. We are proud of Lawrence Police Officers Union.
Thank you. The next person that we have on the list is Rich Russell. Councilor Russell.
Good evening, councilors. Richard Russell, 34 Cross Street. I would like to congratulate the city for two well-run ceremonies, namely the Dominic Mattei dedication on the corner of Chestnut and Elm Street, and the construction commencement ceremony of the new police station on Lowell Street that was held one day short of the second anniversary of the original groundbreaking ceremony. As always, numerous pictures were taken by me, but unfortunately, a Harvard dropout allowed my First Amendment rights of free speech to be trampled on his social media site. The pictures of the Mattei ceremony were posted, and as I tried to post the police station ceremony pictures, I got the message that my social media account was deleted due to violations of rather unspecific community standards. I guess unnamed political sarcasm is against political standards. It's a shame that all we, politicians and military, who at one time or another, who swore to support and defend various documents, can now be ignored or circumvented by a gazillionaire college dropout. As a warning, changing a lyric from the MTA song, "Citizens of America, this could happen to you." Kind of makes you wonder who is actually running the institution, the caretakers or the inmates. I will be making an attempt to post these photos by email. I know that some of you do enjoy looking at these events that you cannot attend. We will see what happens. Whether I get a social media account back again, up and running, that remains to be seen. Again, thank you for the time.
The next person that we have is Luis Robles.
Luis Robles, 183 Abbott Street. Good evening, councilors. Sorry if I offend anyone. The ad hoc committee on the school board modification was a disaster. Nothing of substance was debated. The primary question was the structure of the school committee, and no substantive arguments were presented regarding whether an elected or appointed majority will be more beneficial for our students. It seems as if no arguments were made in good faith. While I support a majority-elected school committee, I still wanted to hear arguments from the other side. And it wasn't even a balanced committee. The school committee had a majority. The primary arguments of the school committee were democracy, and the arguments on the mayor's side was that the current school committee is not capable of handling such responsibilities. These two arguments are weak, and it's all we have after all these months. If the ad hoc committee was such a disaster, imagine the disaster that a hybrid model would be, where elected members bicker and fight against the appointed members, where political infighting gridlocks progress for our students. Based on what I saw, we might as well just leave the LAE board in charge. At least they get the job done and aren't going to be a stumbling block for the new superintendent. American students are behind countries like China. Lawrence Public Schools doesn't even rank in the top 100 in the state. Lawrence is not competitive at the state level, let alone at the national level. We have a horrible student-to-teacher ratio, and our students are addicted to their phones. Meanwhile, our local politicians are playing politics with our kids and not looking at the bigger picture. We have a technological future that is changing rapidly, and our students will need to be prepared for it. Yet, here we are, months of dragging one's feet and obstructing each other so that each side can get their way instead of having constructive dialogue to address the important issues. I hope we can avoid a similar scenario when this item is taken up by the City Council in their special meeting. And the major issue that we will have in this hybrid model is not whether a majority is elected, a majority is appointed from what I've seen. It's whether or not they will be able to work together for our students. Thank you.
The next person that we have is Kimberly Berry. Name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Good evening, counselors. My name is Kimberly Barry. I'm the president of the Lawrence Teachers Union, 1 Canal Street, Lawrence, Mass. I'm here to talk about the ad hoc committee and the Lawrence change of school governance. And I want to just say for the record again that our Lawrence Teachers Union is made up of 1,500 members. I have about 1,300 teachers, nurses, long-term subs, building-based educators, counselors, as well as 200 retirees. I'm also a vice president of one of the vice presidents that reports to the president of the AFT Mass, and we have about 1,000 AFT Mass teachers in Lawrence. So I just want to reiterate that our union believes in full democracy. We believe in the current school committee, and we agree with everything Lennon said, and we believe that the school committee did not get the support, and right now, through the transition, the possible transition would be to have them have training from the state, and I understand that that's been blocked, excuse me, and because of this ad hoc committee's proposal. So we prefer that they got the training and that we trust in the elected school committee and that you all trust in them just like you trusted the citizens to elect you. We hope that you would have trusted the citizens to elect the school committee as well. So whatever the result is, we hope it's the most democratic that you believe in, because we believe in democracy. And we believe that's the way to move the Lawrence Public Schools into a future where kids are on grade level for reading and math, and they become competitive in the state as well as the nation. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have is Mayra Ortiz, a school committee member. Mayra Ortiz, she's on Zoom, and she will speak with everybody through that Zoom call. So
Hi,
Mayra.
good evening. School committee member Myra Ortiz, 45 Norris Street. Is my sound good?
Yes, very good.
Perfect. This evening, the subject that I'm going to be commenting on is the home rule petition. The home petition before us has its origin in 1966 and gives cities and towns the authority to enact their own legislation. It is a way for cities and towns to adopt, revise, or amend their charters. What a home rule petition was not intended for was to uphold repressive practices like the 2010 law enacting state receivership. The origins of which we are here in this discussion this evening is the home rule petition was brought forth to maintain the receivership body, the Lawrence Alliance for Education, otherwise known as the LAE, under the cloak of being appointed school committee positions by the administration. In response to this deception, the Lawrence School Committee, as a collective, elected, drafted in good faith a home rule petition that upholds democracy, strengthens the Lawrence School Committee's ability to serve its constituency, and keeps the needs of the students as its priority. The home rule petition draft was reviewed and revised by the now known ad hoc committee, and it is up for consideration this evening after several passes and months of speaking and working on it to move this matter forward. I would ask not only the electorate, but the elected to support transparency and not tolerate performative democracy. We're here together to what's in the best interest of not only our students, but overall democracy as a whole, in yes, working together and coming to a common good. At this moment in time, our present charter, speaking on the school committee, there's nothing to be solved. But if we're going to work together and compromise, then the best shot that we have is adopting the ad hoc committee's proposal that is put forth before this table for discussion. Either that or vote it down, because there's nothing to be fixed. But if we are going to be transparent and we are going to work together and have this one opportunity to make what we have
Thank you,
listed in our charter better,
Thank you,
let's
School
move
Committee
forward
Member
with the ad
Ortiz.
hoc committee. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next person that we have on the list is Pedro Payano. Name and address for the record, please.
Pedro Payano, 596 Havel Hill. Good evening, everyone. I came back from retirement due to my concern of how the new school committee should be. And I spoke to all of you. And I found out that there's more agreement than disagreement. In fact, when I went item by item, it seems to be that the differences are not that much. So, most of you agree with 7 members. Exception, some said, oh, but the majority said 7 members. So, I think you guys are gonna come to agreement very fast. The other discussion that we had was about how are we going to choose the 6th member. 6 members, 3 elected at large, and 3 are chosen by the mayor or chosen by the school committee. So when we come to choose between those 2, that's the argument that maybe you guys want to have. But if you really look into, there's not really disagreement, because if you guys choose the new school, the appointee, the mayor is still going to have some power. It can veto anyone that you guys choose. The same as if in this case is the mayor that send you the candidates, you are the one that are going to elect those candidates, not the mayor. It's going to be you. So when you decide to choose those appointees or candidates, the mayor still have the power to veto whoever candidate he thinks is not his of his belief. So I'm asking anyone in this room. I have a piece of paper. If you guys want to have a discussion with me or a debate about why we have to change this, I'm willing to do that.
Speak to the mic.
Well, I'm just asking you.
All right, thank you so much.
I'm having this for 16 years.
Thank you so much.
Finally, that we do
Thank
this.
you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Time is up.
Thank you.
All right, we have, we would like to recognize tonight that we have visitors. The school committee members from District F, Jonathan Guzman is here with us. A school committee member from District C, Lenin Roa, is here in the room as well. The school committee member from District D, Sandra Edwards, is here with us. And also the school committee member from District A, the previous speaker, Mike Ortiz, is also here with us. So thank you for coming and visiting us today. All right, we're gonna go immediately to the top of the agenda, but if nobody have any objections, I would like to call for the committee report from the Personnel Committee, which, if nobody have an objection, Madam Chair from the Personnel Committee.
We have so many things in front of us tonight. Thank you, Council President. Through you, the Personnel Committee met last week, and we have 3 items before the full council. The first item is item 294-24, the approval to appoint Michael J. Azamara to the Zoning Board of Appeals with the term expiring January 2026. The Personnel Committee sends this up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion, councilors? Discussion, Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. We do have Michael here with us tonight, and I do want to say to my colleagues, what makes this candidate unique is he, as a Lawrence resident, went through the process as a resident, so he can definitely talk about that experience and bring that experience to the board. That I thought it will be an asset to have on the zoning board.
By all means, you have the floor. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little more about yourself.
Sure. My name is Michael Abasamra. I live on 12 Mount Vernon Circle, Lawrence, Mass. I moved here in 2018. My brother and I had the opportunity to subdivide our land, so we had to go in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals. And I went through that process on the citizen side. When I saw this opportunity to join the Zoning Board of Appeals, I really wanted to apply and be a part of the community and help not only anybody looking to do any work on their own property, but having that experience going in front of the board. I thought it'd be beneficial to not only the board, but also the community as a whole to have someone to represent both sides. So thank you.
Councilors, any questions for the candidate? If there is none, so all those in favor to approve item 294-24, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Madam Vice President Infante, item 460-24.
Council President, item 460-24 is the confirmation to reappoint to the Zoning Board of Appeals, Mr. Richard Rivera, who's also currently the chair of the board. The Personnel Committee sends this up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion.
Discussion.
Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Council President, if it's okay with you, since we do have the candidate here, if you can say a few words.
Yes, of course. Please tell us a little more about why you wanted to keep on serving.
So my name is Richard Rivera, 98 Andover Street, Lawrence, Massachusetts. I've been here all my life pretty much. I was educated and raised here. I've been serving on this board. I started at the bottom, and I've been able to learn the process and work my way up. And now I'm currently the chair, and throughout the years I've learned both sides of the petitioners and the city side, and I think that's what I enjoy doing, because I'm able to help the petitioners and explain to them the circumstances and the situations that they're in. And a lot of times we're able to help them with their petition, sometimes we're not. When we're not, we try to explain to them why, and hopefully they understand why, and they can go and move on with the process.
Any questions, Councilor?
Discussion.
Councilor LaPlante?
Thank you very much, Council President. Through you, I just wanted to comment that I've been to several zoning committee meetings, and Mr. Rivera has been the chair for many of these meetings. And I just want to let you know that he's a strong leader on the Zoning Board of Appeals. He sticks to his guns. He looks out for the benefit of the residents. And I think he's very fair in his approach in dealing with applicants. And I'm wholeheartedly supporting him this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councilors would like to speak? Councilor Marmol?
Serving as chair for as many years that you have, has the Zoning Board of Appeals have ever been sued, or has an individual has appealed a decision that you guys have rejected? And if so, what is the normal process?
So, everyone that gets denied has a right to appeal. They have 21 days to appeal. So they go in front of the state, and then from the state, they go to the planning department and the city attorney, and then they continue with the process. If someone is approved and the abutters want to challenge the decision, they also have the right to appeal. So then they go through that process, and so on and so forth. But it ultimately ends with the city attorney and the planning department. And yes, we have been, a number of times, we have been brought to court, and sometimes the outcome has changed, and sometimes it's maintained on the city side.
When the outcome who joins the members of the zoning board in making those decisions?
So the planning department, Dan McCarthy, and the city attorney, and then we go through the process of a clerk and magistrate. They ask the questions, and then they take it from there. They decide whether they have a reason to appeal or they don't have a reason to appeal.
Is the mayor also part of this process as well?
I'm sure he's filled in. Everything that we do eventually goes to, to the mayor's desk.
Be clear on litigation, the mayor has no part of this. This is, it's ruled on by the court. So the court either sends it back to the zoning board for reconsideration, saying that we believe you're wrong, or they uphold it. The only time that the mayor would be involved is if there was some sort of settlement or that matter. The courts decide these appeals. I mean, most of the time, to be honest with you, they're almost dismissed because of the lack of reasons for the appeal. Just because you don't like the decision doesn't mean the decision's wrong. And that's, you have to show that they made their decision based on false evidence or based on wrong decisions. So it's a hard burden to meet. But it's normally the court that decides what's happening.
But any other councilors? All right, there is a motion to approve. That is an underlying motion, properly second. There's no more discussions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Madam Vice President Infante, we have another item.
That's our last item, Council President. Item 461-24, the confirmation to reappoint to the Zoning Board of Appeals, Mr. Anthony Coco. The Personnel Committee sends this up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
There is a motion on the table. Can you hear a second? Second.
Discussion.
Discussion. Madam Vice President Infante.
Council President, it's the same thing as the previous item, just to give the opportunity to Mr. Coco.
Good
Mr.
evening,
Coco?
everyone. My name is Anthony Coco. I reside at 37 East Pleasant Street in Lawrence, Mass. I was born and brought up in the city. I still live in the city. I'm not going anywhere. My business has been in the city for quite a while. I've had a lot of experience with the zoning board. Some good, some bad, but I like to be where I am now, helping other businesses and helping other people in the community. I think that with my experience of being a business owner and a citizen of Lawrence is good for newer people coming in and wanting to construct or move to the city.
Councilors, any questions?
Discussion.
Councilor LaPlante.
Thank you. I saved my more robust comments for the final candidate, not because of this candidate, but just because of the nature of the ZBA. And through you, and this is frankly applicable to all the candidates, but through you, Mr. President, the position that Mr. Coco, you have been in and you're going to continue, as well as your other two members this evening, potential members this evening, is an important gateway as we try to determine the growth of our city. And what I mean by the growth of our city, I mean the amount of housing units that we have in our city. And it is extremely critical, and oftentimes the positions that you currently hold and you want to hold for an additional period is not really understood very well by the residents. They see us as being the folks that do the ordinances, and we're on television, and we're on the radio, and we're on Facebook, and we're all over the place. But the ZBA and planning and elsewhere, you are working under the radar, making a lot of very important decisions that impact the residents that we represent. The one point that I wanted just to reach out and just talk very briefly, we have a very long agenda this evening, is the housing spike that we're facing in our city. We have grown approximately 4,000 new units in the last 10 years. The amount of units right now, at least for the last calendar year, was 30,700 units. And if you subtract 4,000 from the last 10 years, that is a startling number. I believe it's about a 16% increase over that time. And I've been talking about not only that, but with the ancillary, the other dominoes that fall when you have as many individuals as we do. We also have additional cars. We have a 37% increase in vehicles over those 10 years, approximately 21,000 new vehicles in the city over a 10-year span. That is a big number. We are struggling. We are drowning. We're trying to figure out how we deal with this. The ZBA is an important component of what we're doing as a housing policy in our city, and we need to be more holistic about it. And it's important, through you, Mr. President, my final words are this, and for all the members, is that please be mindful when folks come to you asking for this special accommodation or a special zoning or whatever they're looking for, and they say they're going to be creating more housing units. Be mindful that 1 here, 2 there, 3 here adds up, and that adds up to more. It impacts our school systems, of which there are members here of the school department, and it impacts a lot of other parts, whether it's parking that we're all too familiar with, and it deals with snow removal, it deals with congestion, it deals with lights, it deals with a lot of different things. So I'll stop there. You get the message, and I hope the other members have gotten the message because I have spoken on this, but I think it's important to reiterate that because it's very rare that you come before us. I or we usually come before you when it comes to these matters. Thank you, Mr. President.
Absolutely.
Motion to approve.
Council President. Thank you. I do want to make, say to my colleagues, something that I believe is important to know, that was discussed at the Personnel Committee meeting, that it is for all three of the items. We discussed, and we were glad that we had the current chair with us at that moment, putting a binder or some type of document together for recommended appointees, so then they can know a little bit more about the boards and the responsibility of the boards. They did confirm with us that a verbal conversation happens. However, sometimes with so much information, things can be forgotten. So it was a good conversation to have at the Personnel Committee, and I just wanted you guys to know that that was spoken about.
Oh, great, thank you. Appreciate that, that's very important. Any other questions for the candidate Antonio Coco? Anthony Coco. All right, at this point, I'll call the questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again. All right, councilors, we have a lot of people that are here in regard to one specific item, and this item is the item for 40223. Sorry, it's the item 14824. Councilors, we have a special meeting tomorrow. But there is items on these home rule petitions that are very generic, and opening it and going over, if I just want to know, like, whether or not any of those particular sections, 1 to 11, which one of those we have questions, and if we do, we proceed with those tomorrow, and which one of those items we don't have questions, so we can put it on the side and focus on the rest of the one that we have some type of question tomorrow, so we can advance the conversation. The intent is not to discuss anything tonight unless the councilors want to, but there is a lot of people that are here expecting some type of discussions around this specific item 14824. If nobody's objecting for us to discuss this and just go over each item to see which ones we have potential discussions, we can leave it for tomorrow, and which ones we don't, and we can just put it on the side. If it is no objections, I would like to discuss item 14824, which is the establishment of a home rule petitions, defining the governing structure of the Lawrence School Committee upon the exit of the state receivership. Councilors, going over this item, we have 11 different sections. So the first part, we have the resolution, and you have everyone have a package, which each section by page. So the first one we have is a resolution. I don't believe that we have any questions on the resolution. And we have item number 1, section number 1, which is basically establishing that we have section 5, the school committee of the Lawrence Administrative Code is hereby amended and stricken by replace within the following. Section 1, councilors, any questions or any potential discussions on section 1? Do we put it on that?
Council President.
Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Before we proceed with this, I would like to make a comment now that it's, now that we're on the item, and I believe it's appropriate to bring this up now. The comment that was made during public participation pertaining to the ad hoc committee. As the chair of that committee, I can attest that many of the things that the young man, the citizen of the city of Lawrence, stated is accurate. Many times, the 3 meetings we've had, I left very frustrated. I also have, through my city email, statements where I am pleading with committee members to make sure that we come to these meetings to work, and not bicker and not go back and forth. It was a very frustrating process, and I'm not afraid to publicly state this. I've also publicly stated it during the ad hoc committees. And I believe the first time we spoke about this, not just me, but many of the councilors heard the plea of wanting to work together between the city council, the school committee, and the administration. And unfortunately, that was not the case when providing this opportunity. And I just wanted to make sure that my colleagues knew. Councilor Levy sat on that ad hoc committee with me as well, so she's also witnessed the back and forth and just the very unproductive time that we had. And that is what I want to say about the ad hoc committee.
No problem. So it is important to recognize that the ad hoc committee was formed, and the composition of the ad hoc committee was 8 members. 3 members were from the mayor's office or the administration, 3 members from the school committee, and 2 members of the city council. So a total of 8 members were appointed to that committee. But going back to the discussion, councilors, and that way we can close this out for the day. I would like to know whether or not councilors have any questions on section 1 only Section 1. There is any questions on Section 1?
Council President,
Councilor De Rosario.
I mean, now that we're discussing this item, I don't have a question on Section 1. If we tonight discuss this item and we amend or fix or change things and we agree to move forward tonight, are we going to be able to do that? And then, I mean, upon agreement of all of us here, going through this document, we might be able to make a decision, and we don't have to have a meeting. We're all here today. So that's something that we can consider if we amend and agree on the amendment. Anybody that have questions and we answer the questions, it just send people that are here today, sitting here, they're going to make the decision as sitting here tonight. So
Well, we have a long agenda, Councilor De Rosario, tonight. I think that if we have discussions on one of the items, it might take quite some time. That's why I have it in today partially, and tomorrow that we're going to have a full discussion on it. Because I believe that there is some items within that might take some time, and we have a full agenda. So that's why I'm wondering to see if councilors have questions on specifics, and the questions and discussions, we're going to leave it for tomorrow. And there is other sections that have no people that might don't have questions. Even though we might not have questions tonight, if a question arrives tomorrow, we're also going to be able to discuss this at any time during the discussion. So any questions on Section 1? If there is no question on Section 1, I would like to ask councilors for Section 2, which is the composition, eligibility, and elections and terms of the school committee members. There is question on Section 2. A lot of people might have questions on Section 2. I have questions on Section 2. So this is one section that we might be able to discuss tomorrow.
Council President.
Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you. I actually, for Section 2, I have some amendments to propose to Section 2.
Councilor Vice President Infante, the amendment, we may proceed with this tomorrow. I mean, the discussion is just to see whether or not we have questions on one of two. If we have, and then we do it tomorrow. Because, I mean, unless the councils want to make a decision today. Yeah, the intent is not to discuss it tonight. If councilors want to make a decision tonight, by all means. Yeah, Councilor Rosario.
Council Vice President has the floor, and then, I mean, we're
Yeah,
discussing it, and she can express what she wants to discuss, I'm assuming, because that's what we're arguing on right now, regardless of
Yeah,
what the
we're not-
expectation
we're
is
not-
for tomorrow. So
we're not
why are
gonna-
we discussing it now if you're gonna prevent all of us or some of us to speak what we wanted to speak? So we should just leave it there and leave it for tomorrow. If she has something to say, we should let her say whatever she needs to say, and then we decide among ourselves where we want to go with this discussion.
Councilor Rosario, we're out of order. Councilor Infante and Council President, they having a discussion. If we are going to decide to have a discussion on this, if the councilors prefer to have it tomorrow, we have it tomorrow. If it's not, we can have the discussion tonight. We're gonna approve section by section, and if we make a determination tonight, that's not a problem. We don't have the meeting tomorrow. There is a lot of people that are expecting to be here tomorrow because we call for a special meeting. Today, the intent is not to make a decision because we already called for a meeting tomorrow. There is gonna be more people coming tomorrow. If we do that today, and then that's not necessarily gonna look like we are making a transparent process, and that's exactly what we want to avoid.
Council President, for the,
Councilor Vice President Infante.
thank you. For the sake of keeping things cordial, this is an important topic. I think if we're gonna review this, it should all be in one setting. I think it's confusing because this is just gonna open the opportunity for councilors to want to ask questions, make comments. So if we're going to review this, if the intent is to really debate this through a special meeting, then let's just keep the whole thing for the special meeting. I don't think we should entertain it tonight.
No problem. Councilors, we're in agreement that we're gonna have this discussion tomorrow.
I agree
Okay,
with that.
no problem. We're going on top of the agenda, councilors. We're gonna have this discussion tomorrow. Anybody that was here for this matter, Please, everybody's welcome tomorrow to be here since we call for a special meeting for tomorrow in regard to this item only. So thank you, everybody. Going on top of the agenda, we have no public hearings. We have no communication from the mayor or from the city officials or city attorney. And we're gonna go straight to the committee reports. We have Budget and Finance Committee, Madam Vice President and Chair of the Budget and Finance Committee, Stephanie Infante.
Thank you, Council President. The first item from the Budget and Finance Committee is item 452-24, the authorization to expend $240,000 from the MVPC EPA revolving loan fund to demolish Florence Street Garage, that is a city-owned property. And we sent this up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Council President,
There is a motion on the table.
I'm going to recuse myself.
Properly second. Councilor LaPlante have recused himself due to a potential conflict of interest. Councilors, any discussions on this? There is a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion. Councilor Luzon.
To you, Council President, can we ask Mr. McCarthy to explain this revolving loan fund? Can you go?
Yes, I'd be glad to do that. The Environmental Protection Agency provides money to communities through their Regional Planning Commission. In this case, we have a Merrimack Valley Planning Commission, which oversees the 15 communities that make up the Merrimack Valley. They have a sum of money they get every 3 to 5 years, and that is part of the revolving loan fund. So part of that money, though it says it's a loan, part of that money is a grant. And the way the breakdown in the grant is usually 40% of the money is a grant that the city gets to take, and the 60% is a repayable loan. In this case, the loan was given to us at 0% interest. The money that we're talking about is what is called petroleum funds. The EPA no longer distinguishes between hazardous materials and petroleum. It's all hazardous materials now. But back in 5 years ago, they separated it. So this is the last amount of petroleum funds available, and the EPA was willing to give it to us for the purposes of demolishing this garage. Usually they don't give us money to take care of buildings, but in this case, there's a lot of oil and petroleum below this garage, and the EPA wants us to tear down this garage, which is a very dangerous building, I might add, and to get to that. So that's the purpose of this loan, and the EPA revolving loan fund. They'll be coming back with more money, probably the next round, but it won't be petroleum funds. This money will be no longer available.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you for coming and refresh the mind of so many people in here on this regard. But the tanks that is in there is inside the building or is outside?
So this is a garage that is.
This is the garage, yes.
That's been city-owned since 2010.
Yes.
Yes. And
But I just hear that there is some tank with oil in there.
yes, so
It's inside of the garage?
that was an auto repair shop. And,
Yes.
and the owner of that property had been pouring oil and gasoline and other fluids into holes in the ground, into sink pipes, and it all soaked into the soil. So that is what's below that garage. So for us to get at it, we've got a $1 million grant to clean up the soil at various locations in the city. So once we can demolish that building, so we can get to the soil, we'll then go in there and clean up that soil and remove that. But the building has to come down first, and we plan to do that within the next 2 months.
Why?
Why?
Why they have to come down first before taking out?
The roof is collapsed, the building is in horrible shape, it's a danger, there's a big red X on it, because the fire department will not go into that building to rescue. It cannot be, this building cannot be saved. It's beyond repair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Councilor, we finish? Councilor Santiago.
And I would like if you can remind me how much is the loan and interest for how long?
So the loan portion of the fund will be 60% of a 240 loan. The 0%, it'll be a 0% interest for the first 2 years of the loan. After that, if the loan still exists, it'll be 3% per annum. The city's intention is to pay that back within 2 years, though, to get that money back through other forces. So we're working with EPA to find other funds to come up into it, so it won't cost the city anything. But again, even at 3%, it's a very good loan. But it's going to be 0% for the 2 years that we have it.
Okay.
So we have councilors.
May I have another question?
Councilor Levy.
I heard that this is another grant that we can get it without no loan, without no interest.
Excuse me?
I heard
Yep.
that there is another grant that we can get it without no interest.
Another garage that the
No.
city owns?
Grant,
No.
grant.
Another
Money
grant?
that we can get more.
So we just received a grant for $1 million.
Yes, we have,
which
and
is
we know
called
that
an
we have to
everyone
pay
loan.
3%. But
Yeah.
I heard that this is another grant that we also can get it without paying interest.
Yeah,
Not that
Councilor
I'm
Levy.
aware of.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Not that I'm aware
This
of.
this grant, this grant is 60%.
Yes.
The 40% of the entire amount is a grant, and the loan is 60% with 0% interest for 2 years. This one, the one that we have in front of us. Any other councilors? Councilor Levy, you need an extra minute.
Grant from EPA
Yes.
that we can get it with no interest.
Which grant is that?
This is a 1 million EPA multi-purpose grants that we can get without.
So we received that grant. We received $1 million grant from the EPA for what's called area-wide cleanup and use. So we can use that on any property in the city. When we applied for that grant, part of that application said that we were planning on using revolving loan funds to demolish this. And then we're using, part of that $1 million will be used to clean up the soil beneath that. And we also, I think there was a couple other properties, Bennington Street Triangle was the other one we put in the grant. But that can be used for a variety of things.
Can you use it for
Typically-
what?
So typically, you cannot use this, the money that EPA gives you is to clean up the soil and the land. It's not to demolish buildings. So we were able to get a waiver of that condition specifically for this building, specifically to use the petroleum funds, because they were gonna run out. These funds were gonna disappear, this $240,000. We have a bid on this to demolish this building. If we don't use this funds on the bid in the next 2 months, then that demolition won't occur. We'll be back to scratch. And more likely than not, the city will have to pay for the demolition out of our own pocket.
So,
not
Councilor
using
Levy.
city funds.
The $1 million that you're referring to, that money cannot be used for demo. Only can be used for the
I
cleanup.
understood that. Yeah, I understood that. Yeah. But I want to know, because this is something that somebody sent it to me to ask
Yeah, perfect.
regarding the
No
$1
problem.
million from EPA.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, councilors, we are running into the same situation as before. We have a grant that we can accept and in a loan that we need to authorize. Two different, still in the discussion, two different situations, but both of them work together. If we accept one and not the other one, neither one works. But to do this properly, we need to have the grant authorization with 6 votes. The loan authorization with 6 votes got to be in the affirmative. In the grant, only 5 votes to accept the grant. But councilors, both of them need to be working together. Otherwise, they're not going to be able. The city is not going to be able to use these funds, and the building will be able to be demolished. So, with that said, councilors, I would like to ask for a motion to split this item into 45224A for the grant and 45224B for the loan. Two different set of votes. So, councilors, can I have a motion to split the item into 2? There's a motion on the table, properly second, discussion on the split.
The attorney.
Sure. I don't know. He left. But Mark is here. He can tell us a little more about the grant, the CAFO.
Council President.
Councilor Esparza Infante.
I'm getting questions on whether or not we're able to split this item. So if we can have, I think that our city attorney left, but we do have Mr. Iannello here.
No, only because last time.
Yeah, it's a risk, but we have to do it.
I don't have the document in front of me, but I'm not sure why is it a grant and a loan, or is it just a loan?
It's a grant and a loan,
Yeah.
both. So the question will be to you, if the city asks for a grant, we need to have it, the city asks for a loan, we need to have a loan authorization from the council.
That would be a whole loan authorization. I don't think that's in front of the council. I think this is a grant, I believe. Is that correct? Dan, do you have a loan? Because a loan authorization would have to be the specifics of the loan, and it would have to be, usually we draft it with
And
bond
this is a loan.
Bond council would draft it.
Yeah, this is a
So I
loan,
don't know
basically.
what's in front of the city council, but if it doesn't come from bond council, it's probably not a proper loan authorization.
Okay. I just want to make sure. So, Madam Director, can you clarify whether or not this is a loan or a grant?
This should be voted on as a loan. The grant is contingent upon the loan.
Okay.
So if the loan is not accepted, the grant money is not given.
So, taking one vote as a loan will be enough?
Yes, I think
Okay.
one vote would be enough, because it
We gotta be
requires
6
6 votes for the loan. And if we get 6 votes
The
for the
worst
loan,
scenario.
I assume that they agree on the grant. The grant
So,
will
worst
come with
scenario
that
is
vote.
6 votes, yeah. All right, since this is a loan authorization, and depending on that, we will receive a grant, and then we will go for the worst scenario, which is the 6 vote for the loan.
That'd be correct, yes.
Councilors, there is a motion on the table, properly second, discussions, any other rounds of discussion? At this point, I'll call the questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Roll call, please.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Marmal?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
No.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante is recused himself. Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes. So this vote was to authorize the city for a loan and subsequently accepting the grant.
7 votes you have.
Yeah, we have 7 votes. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Madam Vice President Infante, item 45324, which is the authorization to spend $300,000 municipal clear efficient energy initiative. This was a typo. This item is currently at the Budget and Finance Committee. It will be discussed at the next Budget and Finance meeting. Item 45424.
Okay.
Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you, Council President. Just for more substance, because we do have our city engineer here. The item that he put on the agenda, he did not appear in front of the Budget and Finance Committee. So this is tabled. And he
Yeah,
wasn't-
it's tabled at the Budget and
It's
Finance
tabled.
Committee.
So it was not supposed to be on the City Council agenda
It's a
tonight.
typo tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so item 454-24, authorization to expend $623,371 grants awarded to Mayor's Health Task Force / Lawrence Reach from the Center for Disease Control was sent up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Okay.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Any discussions, Councilor?
Question?
Councilor LaPlante.
This was probably vetted fully, so I don't want a long conversation about this. When you said the word nutrition, can you just, we can talk afterwards about this, but what do you mean by nutrition, and what's the impacts going to be to our residents?
What do I need?
Nutrition, so one of the things it says, it talks about nutrition, street design, connectivity, physical activities, and continuum of care for lactating mothers. I want to know what you mean by nutrition. I know what nutrition means, but what does it mean in this grant?
Okay.
And
so,
make it concise.
So purposes of this grant, CDC has asked us to look at food service guidelines within charitable organizations and other large public-facing companies that serve food to the public. And we're also asked to look at fruit and veggie incentive program, lifting those up and making them more accessible to the residents.
Question. So we've got programs like this in the past. Everybody knows, eat your fruits and vegetables. We got it, right? But when you go to the store, I'd rather have the chips and the cake and the donuts and whatever. I don't want that. How do we switch the mindset to get to people to where they're going to eat the right food so they can live a long and healthy life?
So historically, fresh fruits and vegetables have always been thought to be expensive. The state, we know, fund purchasing of fruits and vegetables through the HIP program, and that's what we're targeting. We're going to be lifting up through public campaigns as a way for people to be able to purchase more fresh fruits and vegetables. If you're a SNAP recipient, you have the HIP voucher dollars on your card. A lot of folks don't know they have access to that, and so that's one way that we're promoting it. For folks who don't have HIP, what we're going to be doing in the future is looking for ways to fund them also being able to receive dollars to either through prescription programs through the medical centers or other ways of funding it, but so they're able to also have a way to pay for fresh fruits and vegetables, just like SNAP recipients.
Thank you very much, Council President. I'm not going to, well, let's talk tomorrow or later this week about more of the
Okay.
questions about that. Thank you.
Councilors, any other questions in regard to this item? So I hear none. At this point, I'll call the questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Next item is item 45524. Madam Vice President Infante.
Item 455-24, payment of prior year invoice in the amount of $944.07 from Amazon was sent up as a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye. The ayes have it. Item 45724. 45624, sorry.
Item 456-24, appropriation transfer in the amount of $1,266,836 from the Capital Reserve Fund to the DPW Capital Improvements account was sent up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second discussion.
Discussion.
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Earlier this evening, councilors, we did receive an additional document that further explains how this money will be used for the for the project, which is specifically for downtown. Not sure if everyone had the opportunity to take a look at this, but it was something that the Budget and Finance Committee did request, and they did provide for us.
Any questions, councilors,
Discussion.
about any
Discussion.
documents, Councilor LaPlante?
I think it's great that parts of our north side of our city are getting some of the resources to make some improvements there, and I fully support this project and other projects that are going to be making an impact throughout the city, especially on the north side. Thank you, Council President.
All right, any other questions?
Council President,
Councilor Luzon.
I would like to hear from DPW because they sent this information and they mentioned that they did a comprehensive analysis of the existing challenges, but who is really in charge of doing this? I don't see any.
All right, we open the floor for the DPW representative.
Thank you.
Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, honorable councilors. So, we have conducted a very comprehensive analysis.
Just your title so people in the TV know who you are.
Acting City Engineer.
Yep.
DPW.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, actually, we have conducted a very comprehensive analysis and assessment on Essex Street. And then we have hired a traffic engineering company to conduct the study. And then they come up with what you have there to actually enhance that road. So the enhancement of that road, including, allowing left turns at the intersections of Hampshire and Essex with Jackson Streets, and installing a bike lane on both sides. Parking reorganization, because we're going to lose some of the parkings, specifically where the left turns is going to be allowed. Repaving of the road, pavement markings and signage according to the MUTCD, and sidewalk repair, and then we're planting some trees where needed. That's the general highlight of the scope of work that we're going to implement if you guys approve this.
Councilor Luzon.
Thank you, Council President. And for future reference, I would like to read your comprehensive analysis. And for future reference, I would like to get the complete package, not only the pictures. Thank you, Mr. Rosario.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Councilor Luzon, that's interesting. That's something that you are interested on, because we can request it now, and then they can send you the full scope.
Thank you, Council President. If possible, please, if you can share.
Oh, well, we would like to share, the general scope of the work, because that's just like very technical. And
Yeah,
I don't think it's necessary, but if you want it, I mean,
It
okay.
might.
Yeah, it's our district, so, and everybody would like to see it for the public. Anybody that requested, it become public record. Yeah.
So maybe, and if I may, Council President, my concern is that, I know some of the districts had major changes, like they went from one way to one way, and unfortunately for some of the, in my neighborhood, some of them, they don't work. It takes, and I don't know who actually put this analysis together. That's one concern that I have. And I trust the work of DPW. I know that you doing the best for the city.
We hire environmental partners.
Yeah, I would like to see it, and I understand it could be technical and all that, but if you can share that, please do. Thank you, Mr. Rosario.
So it's a formal request to Councilor Luzon and to the members of the City Council to acquire this specific document. Councilors, any other questions
Council
around this
President.
item? Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. I just want to say to our city engineer, what you may think may not be like that we may not need. When it comes to the city council, the more information we have, the better. So just moving
I agree.
forward, just send,
I agree.
just
That's
send
why-
it all.
Because I have extracted like everything and then just make it, easier to understand. I just highlighted like, the most important items.
No, just send it all. I mean, we have engineers here too. So we're going to fully understand, trust me. All right, councilors, any other questions on this? I hear no. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Next item, Madam Vice President Infante, item 15724.
Item 450,
457.
Item 457-24, the authorization to expend in the amount of $187,161 with 11 cents under the PSAB 911 training grant was sent up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second discussion.
Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Vice Chair Marmol, can you take, I have the gavel, can you take it from here? Thank you.
Item number 45824, authorization to expend $52,373 for fiscal year '25 municipal road safety MRS grant. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and we do have our Director, Rosa Shepherd, on behalf of this item. You have the floor.
And do you make that as a formal motion?
Yes, I do.
Motion has been made, properly seconded by Councilor Reyes. Director, you have the floor.
Sure. My name is Rosa Shepard, Director of Support Services at the Lawrence Police Department. The Lawrence Police Department has applied for the Municipal Road Safety Program grant, and we were awarded the amount of $52,373 from the EOPS. This is basically for traffic enforcement for the city of Lawrence. The primary goal for this grant is for the road safety for all residents, whether they are driving, riding a bicycle, or you're walking. We are planning to fund this grant for safety enforcement, basically on the speeding, impaired driving, and pedestrian safety. As well, we'll be using these funds for non-enforcement activity and equipment as well for the traffic.
Thank you. Discussion?
Discussion.
Councilor LaPlante.
Thank you. One of my priorities during this two-year term is Five Corners. That's Winthrop Ave, South Union, Cambridge, Exeter, where the water fountain in Stockton Park is. Are you familiar? Madam Chair, are you familiar with this area?
A little bit.
A little bit. So it's one of the gateways to the city. We had a fatality there about 3 or 4 years ago now. It is extremely dangerous. It is, the police tell me, it's the most dangerous city in the most dangerous intersection in the entire city. So I'm making a huge plug whenever I can. This is not the first time my colleagues have heard this, about putting resources toward making that intersection safe. I don't want it to be the most dangerous anymore. I want it to be the safest intersection in the city, or something like that. So I want it to get off that list, because it's really, really important. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I can definitely bring this up to the Chief of Police and Lieutenant Cerullo.
Thank you, Director. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any noes? The ayes have it. Councilor Marmol? I think that's a 3. Is it 5?
Sorry. It's right at the top.
Item number 502, authorization to expend $19,729.91 Bureau of Justice Assistance BGA grant for bulletproof vests BPV. This was submitted to full council with a favorable recommendation, and I submit that in the form of a motion. We do have our Director, Rosa Shepherd, to speak on behalf of this item.
Motion has been made, properly seconded by Councilor Reyes. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any noes? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Moving on to the Housing Committee. Councilor Marmol.
Okay. I will be submitting the following items as a block. Please bear with me. Item number 46324, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement 7882 Amesbury Street, TE 48 for a term of 5 years. Item number, Eileen, what's the second one?
It's four, they're numerical, so it's 46324, 463, it's just duplicative. 463 is on there twice. Yeah, no. It's just repeated by, it's 463 is one, just put a line through, it's exactly the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So 463, 464.
Okay. So that was a repeat, never mind, okay. Item number 46424, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 100 Amesbury Street, TE 12 for a term of 5 years. Item number 46524, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 101 Amesbury Street, TE-13 for a term of 5 years. Item number 46624, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 120 Amesbury Street, TE-14. TE-14 for a term of 5 years and a permanent easement, E-5. Item number 46724, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 122 Amesbury Street, TE-23 for a term of 5 years. Item number 46824, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 125 Amesbury Street, TE-15 for a term of 5 years. Item number 46924, taken by eminent domain, two temporary easement, 130-254 Amesbury Street, TE-25 and TE-38 for a term of 5 years, and a permanent easement, E-6, and a permanent utility easement, PUE-3. Item number 47024, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 141 Amesbury Street, TE-24 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47124, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 3 Bradford Street, TE-16 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47224, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 400 Canal Street, TE-42 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47324, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 401-403 Canal Street, TE-1 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47424, taken by eminent domain, 2 temporary easement, 417 Canal Street, TE-2 and TE-49 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47524, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 18993-193 Chestnut Street, TE-30 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47624, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 316 Common Street, TE-9 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47724, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 335 Common Street, TE-10 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47824, taken by eminent domain, 2 temporary easement, 356-360 Common Street, TE-3 and TE-4 for a term of 5 years. Item number 47924, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 361 Essex Street, TE-46 for a term of 5 years and a permanent easement, E-11. Item number 48024, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 362-366 Essex Street, TE-5 for a term of 5 years and a permanent easement, E-2. 48124, taken by eminent domain, permanent easement, 363-373 Essex Street, E-10. Item number 48224, taken by eminent domain, 2 temporary easements, 370-386 Essex Street, TE-43 and TE-45 for a term of 5 years and a permanent easement, E-3. Item number 48324, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 267-269 Haverhill Street, TE-21 for a term of 5 years. Item number 48424, taken by eminent domain, permanent utility easement, 273 Haverhill Street, PUE-8. Item number 48524, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 70 Lawrence Street, TE-26 for a term of 5 years, and 2 permanent utility easements, PUE-6 and PUE-7. Item number 48624, taken by eminent domain, 2 temporary easements, 109 Lawrence Street, TE-28 and TE-39 for a term of 5 years, and a permanent utility easement, PUE-4. Item number 48724, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 123 Lawrence Street, TE-31, for a term of 5 years. Item number 48824, taken by eminent domain 2, temporary easements, 131-135 Lawrence Street, TE-34 and TE-35 for a term of 5 years. Item number 48924, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 170 Lawrence Street, TE-36 for a term of 5 years, and a permanent easement, E-8. Item number 49024, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 61 Maple Street, TE-32 for a term of 5 years. Item number 49124, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 189 Maple Street, TE-33 for a term of 5 years. And lastly, item number 492-24, taken by eminent domain, temporary easement, 235 Methuen Street, TE-44 for a term of 5 years. This was submitted to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and I submit that in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made, properly seconded. Can you please ensure that the council president, this is reflected in the minutes, the council president recused himself for this vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion has been made, properly seconded by Councilor Reyes. Discussion?
Discussion.
Councilor LaPlante.
Thank you. I think, you want to speak? I was going to just comment. I was going to say some nice things about this process. So, I think that this is a lot of improvements that are going, again, on the north side, really important improvements that are there. Sidewalks and moving the streets and trying to make some infrastructure improvements are always critical. And it's good that we're doing this throughout the city, and especially it's good to see that's happening primarily on the north side, putting a lot of attention and time and effort there. So we're one city, and we're working hard together to getting a lot of stuff done. And I'm really happy to see this, and I'm looking forward to supporting you tonight. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any noes? The ayes have it. We are, I don't see the council president, oh.
So where we are? Where we are? Huh? All right, councilors, we go on top of the agenda, which is the committee from the ordinance committee. The chair from the ordinance committee, Councilor Plant.
Thank you, Council President. Document, I think we've done this, 42824, the ordinance committee sent up this document, which is to accept the amended recordable easement and layout alteration plans for Amesbury and Lawrence Street area. They sent it up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, as did housing. Make that in the form of a motion.
This is the same item as that.
You sent it to both committees,
We
right?
have not done it to housing, yeah.
Then it's just our committee, so that.
I'm sorry, I missed.
What I'm saying is that this is the layout for that for the
Yeah,
same
can-
project,
Yeah, the Amesbury Street reconstruction layout.
for the Masiotti project.
Yes, it is.
I put a motion on the floor.
Second.
You want this? Okay. Motion has been put on the floor. It's been properly seconded. Discussion. See no discussion. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Let the record reflect that Councilor Rodriguez, Council President, recused himself. All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. Thank you.
No, the MBTA. I don't work for the MBTA. All right, all right. We're on top of the agenda. Mr. Chair from the ordinance committee.
Sure.
Item 42924.
Document 42924, the new ordinance in compliance with MGL Chapter 48, Section 3, allowing multifamily as a right-of-way, otherwise known as the MBTA Communities Act, was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Discussion?
There's a motion to accept, properly second. Discussion.
Discussion.
Councilor
I think, I'm not gonna, would you like us to table this meeting tonight? It's up to you.
The MVPC had asked if they could be available to be here when the vote was taken. I don't have an objection to it being tabled, but if the favorable vote tonight, I would probably take that as well. So, tabling this matter will not affect the timeliness of this. We've got a year to get this done. We're working on the ordinance language with it. So I think to have the full staffing here to answer any questions any of the board members have, I think it would probably be preferable to have this tabled until the next meeting.
All right, there is, councilors, there is a request to table this matter until next meeting. I'll entertain a motion to table at this point.
Motion to table?
There's a motion to table, properly second. And it's important to recognize also that the Housing Committee also have the same item, but it was a typo on the agenda. And we're gonna have to table the item of both committees.
It was
already approved. It was sent to full council for tonight. I didn't see it on housing.
It wasn't a typo. What happened is because of the Monday holiday, we had to print the agenda on Thursday. It was required for the open meeting law, but we didn't have the committee report back, so I had to kind of guess what was gonna come out. I didn't.
All right, but we have this item was discussed at the Housing Committee and at the Ordinance Committee. And it is a request to table the matter at this level. So, councilors, there is a motion to table.
That was already second.
And properly second. All those in favor to table the matters, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Madam, Mr. Chair from the Ordinance Committee, item 49724.
This item is the Park Naming Act was sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing and make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
The motion on the table, properly second to order a public hearing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 49824.
This is 49824 is the annual department reporting requirement. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing and make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There is a motion to order a public hearing, properly second. Discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 49924.
This is install a 1 JO pole on Canal Street near Union Street. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing and make that in the form of a motion.
Second. Motion on the table, properly
Discussion.
second. Discussion.
So,
So
Council
plan.
President, you asked specifically if we would remind and encourage, I'm not sure what the right verb is, National Grid to deal with the second poles and the redundancies and the blight that it's causing. And that message was sent, not only was it sent verbally, but it was also sent with the written correspondence.
I highly appreciate it. Thank you. Any discussions, councilors? All those in favor, please say aye. The ayes have it. The next item, Councilor Blunt.
Document 524, install 2 JO poles on North Canal Street near Amesbury Street. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing. You make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion. All those in favor, please say aye. The ayes have it. Item 50124.
This 50124 is to install underground electric conduits at North Canal Street. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing and to make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. So going on top of the agenda, we have old business. There is none. Now we go on to the table matters. Councilors.
Council, would we
before
do
that,
committee on the whole this evening?
Sorry. We need to go to the committee of the whole. We have item 40223. Madam Vice President Infante from the committee of report. Can you present the report, the result out of the discussion?
Item 402-23, the establishment of handicapped parking commission. We made a discussion, we sent it up as a committee report, and I make that as a form of motion, and then I'll go into.
Second.
Discussion.
There's a motion to accept it as a committee report, properly second. Discussion, Councilor LaPlante.
So my understanding is that Mr. Hooton is working on some information that you've requested, Council President, that's not yet been completed. and he just needs a little bit more time. So based on your request and making sure that you and others have the right information to make an informed decision, I'm going to be asking that we table this matter until the next meeting.
All right, there is a motion to table.
Second.
Okay. Properly second, no discussion on the table matter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Going on top of the agenda, we have all business, we have none. We're going to table matters. Councilors, there is any table matters that we would like to discuss tonight? All right, I hear none, so we're going to new business. All right, councilors, we're gonna read the new business. Item 50324, the fiscal year 2025 property tax classification public hearing. This is gonna be referred to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 50424, appropriation transfer of $40,000 from the Stabilization Reserve Fund, Stabilization Reserve to Judgment Act for litigation settlements. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 50524, appropriation transfer of $350,000 from the Stabilization Reserve to the legal service account. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 50624, appropriation transfer of $250,000 from the ARPA free cash to a new account to support Lawrence community work, redevelopment, and their work building. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 50724, the acceptance of that voluntary easement from the access company to the Mass DOT Ansbury Street redevelopment project. This is going to the Housing Committee. Item 50824, the handicap parking of 22 Irene Street, and this is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 50924, handicap parking of 9 Kingley Court. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 51024, Film and Motion Pictures Industry Development. This is going to the Economic Development Committee. Item 51124, the Economic Development creation of a citywide master plan. This is going to the Economic Development Committee. Item 51224, Business Development and Economic Vision. This is going to the Economic Development Committee. Item 51324, authorization to spend $405,377,000. PSAP 911 support and initiative grant. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. We need to add this item to the agenda before we do that, councilors. So we need to item 51324. So so this is a late file, councilors. We need a 7 vote to be added to the agenda, and then subsequently probably be able to refer to the Budget and Finance Committee. So, councilors, can I get a motion to add this item to the agenda, to declare an emergency and to add it to the agenda?
It's just the late file.
Just the late file. Yeah.
So moved.
There is a motion on the table. Can I hear a second? Properly second. Discussion? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So now the ayes have it. Now this item has been added to the agenda and is going to be referred to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 51424, the soccer tournament on October 27th, 2024, starting at 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is also a late file, councilors. These need to be declared an emergency. We need 3 separate vote for this item, and then subsequently add it to the agenda and suspend the rules to be sent to a committee, to not to send to a committee, and then subsequently be able to discuss it at this point. Councilor, at this point, I would like to ask if the council would like to add this item to the agenda. We need 7 vote. Can I get a motion to add it to the agenda first?
Motion to declare as an emergency and to add to the city council agenda.
There's a motion on the table, properly second, discussion.
Discussion.
Councilor Plant.
Sure. Is the petitioner here this evening?
Sure.
M-
Yeah, he's
If
here.
the petitioner is here, may the petitioner approach the council?
Name and address for the record, please. And name and address for the record.
My name is Uriel Lopez, 279 Irving Ave, Lawrence.
All right, Councilor Plan, you have the floor.
My name is Uriel Lopez. I'm from Lawrence, 279 Irving Ave.
So thank you. So what we're looking to do here is that there's a couple of things. One, our rules require that this be filed at a certain time, and I'm going to say it. And the second point is that the Vice President is asking that we take this up as an emergency this evening. Have you, I just want to get a track record. Have you done this before, this program before, the soccer program before?
Yes, we have done like a couple of years already.
And so and did you come before the council before asking for permission or for a permit?
No, that's the first time I'm here, because the last times when I went there, we just applied over there next, I don't know, the address of the name of the place, and they gave me the permit.
The O'Neill.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're actually doing things the right way currently. Part of me wants to change the ordinance on this so we don't have to deal with this stuff in the future, but they are currently doing things the right way, where if it's a one-time, even if it's a sporting event, one-time sporting event, like a special event, it does come before the council for a permit. So that's the right, it's coming to the right place for the permit. So that I agree with. But the concern is that when did you start the process for this? What I'm trying to get at is, did you do things in a timely manner? So that's the question. When did you start the process on trying to get this permit?
Kind of confused. Can he translate for me? Because para esto, tiene como 2 semanas.
¿Cuándo? No, ¿cuándo él vino aquí?
Hoy estoy acá, porque siempre he ido allá y de allá me llenaron la aplicación y me mandaron para acá.
Two weeks ago?
Sí, hace como 2 semanas yo estoy en eso.
When did he file the application online?
¿Cuándo usted hizo la aplicación propiamente dicha?
Eso
En línea.
Fue como el jueves de la semana pasada.
Thank you. I don't want to, yeah, and I get that, but in many municipalities, there's an obligation from all our residents to understand what our rules are for permits. You're going to the right place, but you should have started earlier on it. The bigger question that I have in addition to this is, did the Recreation Department, do they have a conflict on this day? I don't know if they do.
Claire, can you clarify from that, please?
Based on the calendar that I keep with the Recreation Department, as well as the notes in Citizen Serve, there's no conflict at that park on that date.
Last question before I don't want to badger this into the Nuremberg trials, but don't need to translate that. But if you were to delay this for a couple of weeks, and I don't know if the Recreation Department has availability for a week or two after, could you do that?
Fíjese, no, porque ya está poniendo un poco muy frío.
You know that probably not, because as you could see, the weather is changing to very cold.
Okay, I think I made my point. Thank you, Council President.
Aye.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante.
No.
Counselor Luzon.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Santiago.
Yes.
Counselor Marmal.
Yes.
Counselor Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Yes. So now, councilors, we need to add this item to the agenda, and we need 7 votes for that. Can I have a motion to add it to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
So there is a motion to add it to the agenda, properly second discussion.
Discussion. What was the
Councilor-
first,
Councilor LaPlante.
just so I'm clear, I thought the first vote was to add it on the agenda and to declare an emergency. I thought that was the original motion.
No, just to
To
declare
declare
an
as an
emergency.
emergency.
And then now it's,
There was 2 points of the original motion is what I heard.
so
And
the
Council Vice
original was to
President.
add it to the agenda, so?
Yep, and so.
Declares an emergency and add it to the agenda. Okay, perfect.
There's a
So
motion to approve.
There's a motion
No,
to,
we have
no.
another, we have another,
We need to suspend the rules to be able to discuss it at this level.
yeah.
And for that, we need to, we need a motion to, not to send it to a committee, therefore, we need to suspend the rules.
I make a motion to suspend Rule 6 of the City Council rules.
Second.
All right, there is a motion to suspend the rules, properly second discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Now we have it here, so we can discuss it. Roll call, please.
For the noes. No.
Counselor Reyes. This is on a
Yes.
motion to suspend the rules, yep.
Yep.
Yes. Counselor Marmal.
Yes.
Counselor Santiago.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Luzon. Yes. Counselor LaPlante.
No.
Counsel Levy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Yes. All right, now we have this item at this level.
Motion to approve.
There is a motion to approve.
Second.
Can I hear a second? Discussion. Discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
No.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante.
No.
Counselor Luzon. Yes. Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Santiago.
Yes.
Counselor Marmal.
Yes.
Counselor Reyes.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
I vote yes. Motion carries. So congratulations.
Muchas gracias a todos. Feliz noche. Gracias.
No se vaya, quédese ahí para hablar un ratito. Sí. A él. So, councilors, let's go to committees. Sí. Yeah, just stay for a second. Committees, councilors, the ordinance committee.
Next Tuesday, October 22nd, 7 p.m.
Budget and finance committee.
Budget and Finance. Next Wednesday, the 23rd at 7 PM.
Housing committee.
Wednesday, 6:30 p.m.
Economic development committee.
Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Public safety committee.
We have items that are tabled and I haven't heard back from, so I'm not going to schedule anything for now.
Okay, personnel committee, there is nothing.
We do have an item,
We
a tabled item that we got updated. So personnel, we'll do Tuesday at 6:30.
All right, the committee of the whole, we have nothing. And I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes
Oh,
have it.
Councilors, please, if you cannot make a committee meeting, please let the chairs of the committee know.
On time, please, because I get my...